Hey everybody, how are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Hump Day, Edward, Hump Day.
Hump Day, Dump Day.
We're here with the special Edward Milewski.
Special head.
And
nothing like a little special head.
nothing, I couldn't get by without a little special head. Just wouldn't happen. Need it every day. Every day you gotta have your hit of special head. Anyways.
Keep watching.
Yeah, exactly. So the S&P plummet was finally arrested by the surprise cutting of interest rates by 3 countries. Curiously, all of them on the very eastern edge of the time zone on a given day. Almost like they got a phone call in the middle of the night to say, hey, would you guys mind cutting your interest rates by 0.5%, even though you haven't made any announcement or given any indication to? You're really a small country, but it would send the right signal to the marketplace as the sun rises, moving westward, and certainly had the desired effect.
When I was much younger, occasionally I'd get a call in the middle of the night, and I always welcomed it.
Really? Was it like, come on over?
Something like
that. Hey,
that.
what are you doing tonight, big boy? Is this special head? Can you come over here right now?
So you could be right. You could be right. Look at there was I turned on the computer this morning and I saw the S&P was down over 40 points, and it's gained it all back. So there's some gaps on the chart. Yeah, I think we're going to rally. We're maybe set up for maybe a little bit of a contra rally.
Contra rally. Gold is up $33.
Gold hit
1505. I saw 1514.
I saw 1521.
On the futures or in the spot?
The futures.
The futures. Okay,
which are pretty close to the spot.
Yeah, well,
a little bit higher, but it's more active.
Yeah, futures was originally invented by bankers who wanted to lend money to farmers, and the farmers would say, well, how much will you lend me? And the bankers would do a calculation predicting what the price of corn would be by the end of the season, and that would determine how much they were willing to lend the farmer. And so the futures were essentially a mechanism for price discovery. Now, in the gold market, what they do is they manipulate the futures price to create a discovery in the spot price.
The tail's sort of wagging the dog.
The tail's wagging the dog, but that could all be changing. That could all be changing.
Well, you know, with this gold move, you got to keep in mind, China and Russia have been accumulating gold heavily. They don't think that the U.S. dollar is the reserve currency it should be, it's stated.
They're not alone in that assessment. China could be suffering a little bit problems too. What's going on in Hong Kong could very easily become a national coup d'etat, a national revolt. Certainly, I mean, if I was living in China, I'd be tired of being told what I can and can't do by my government, who then goes around behind my back, enriches itself, and puts all of its competition in jail or to death. I can't believe anybody does business with China, honestly.
Well,
coming up today, we have Ravi Sood joining us for a rather scintillating discussion, we'll call it scintillating discussion, about gold and what's moving gold today.
Should be interesting.
If you're not watching what's happening to gold, and you're staring at your cryptocurrencies losses or your cannabis losses, you should be paying attention to what's happening in gold, because we said back in 2014 that the catalyst for a resumption of the bull market in metals and hard commodities will be the point at which the crypto market and the cannabis market run their course. And it's certainly, they're both starting to look long in the tooth at this point, though we do know we have one macro catalyst left, at least in the cannabis space, which is the national deprohibition of cannabis by the United States. That should be good for another 8 or 9 month bull run.
You know, gold, the move in gold has been spectacular. If you just think that it had an intra-week low of about $12.80 a few months ago and hit $15.20. That's $240 on a 12 13. You know, it's a 20% move in gold. 20% move. So something's up.
Yeah. Also coming up today, we are going to have a new feature which we call the Midas Letter News Release Deep Dive. So Halo Labs, our client and sponsor, put out a press release announcing the launch of XES Sensual. Now, XES Sensual is a sexual wellness product, Edward. Don't get excited. And that has, well, I'm not going to give it, I'm not going to steal
So
the
if you're
thunder.
not sexually well, this is what you want. This will make you well.
If you're sexually unwell and you're of a
And
certain...
what would sexually unwell mean?
Not getting laid? That would be sexually unwell.
Okay.
Or sexually unwell, getting laid by too often, and
Too money?
you become sexually unwell as a result of,
Right.
you know, picking up some sexually transmitted
Yes.
version of something.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, also coming up today, what do we got? What do we have for entertainment?
Well,
Yeah, no, there's something else we had today, I thought. No? No,
we
not
got-
today.
We
That's
got
it.
Galane, we got this, we got that. We got it.
All right, and our fabulous news nurse, the lovely and talented Suzanne Garcia, is here with the news.
Here's what's making cannabis headlines today. Halo Labs is launching Sensual, the first sexual wellness system with an integrated applicator specifically designed to deliver a CBD formulation through vaginal application. Sensual is the first sexual wellness product that features both an applicator and serum and applies cannabinoid science to promote sexual pleasure. The serum is a proprietary formulation of cannabinoids and non-GMO botanical extracts that enhance relaxation and inflammation, helping to stimulate orgasms and satisfaction. According to a report published by Ritzton Advisory and Intelligence, the global sexual wellness market is expected to reach revenues of around $39 billion by 2024. The retail segment, comprising mass market retailers, drugstores, specialty stores, and grocery stores, accounts for more than 60% of the sexual wellness market sales. Chiron Life Sciences has signed a distribution agreement for its Cuida cosmeceutical brand with Grupo Éxito. Grupo Éxito is Colombia's market-leading retail group and one of the largest retailers in South America. In combination with previously announced distribution arrangements, this increases the Cuida consumer reach as the brand experiences a growing retail presence in Colombia. Controlled by Casino Bouchard Perrachon and with revenues of $17 billion US in 2019, Group Éxito operates 1,533 stores across Colombia, Uruguay, Brazil, and Argentina. Under the company's agreement with Group Éxito, Cuida will initially be sold in 21 Éxito stores. To support Chiron's Cuida skincare line sales and brand awareness, each Éxito WOW location will host dedicated experience centers with skin expert consultants on hand to educate consumers on the brand's proprietary CB Derm technology, as well as its current portfolio of 7 skin and personal care products. Dixie Brands and Arizona, maker of the #1 selling iced tea in America, signed a binding letter of intent on Friday. Under the terms of this deal between Dixie Brands and the Arizona brand through its affiliated entity Herbal Enterprises will direct brand and product conceptual designs. Dixie Brands will develop, formulate, manufacture, and distribute the new portfolio of Arizona-branded THC-infused consumer packaged goods. 48 North Cannabis has made a strategic investment of $1.25 million in Friendly Stranger Holdings. Friendly Stranger is a cannabis accessories retailer in Ontario that has been operating for 25 years and aims to add legal cannabis to its offering after receiving a license. 48 North is now guaranteed to have a presence in all existing and future Friendly Stranger retail locations, co-branding opportunities, and a number of other strategic collaborative initiatives. The Green Organic Dutchman Holdings has submitted an application to list its common shares on the NASDAQ. Subject to approval for listing, the common shares will continue to trade on the TSX exchange under TGOD, which is also the reserve symbol for the NASDAQ application. Indiva and TerraSen have signed an agreement to partner on an extraction services program. Indiva will provide TerraSen with extraction and refinement support at its facility in London, Ontario. TerraSen will commit to deliver a minimum of 800 kilograms of dry flower to Indiva for extraction per year. Indiva will be responsible for extraction and refinement services employing its 70-ton ethanol extraction system and will return the final product to TerraSen in bulk formulated oil or in distillate form. WeedMD reported preliminary unaudited revenues of $8 million for the 3 months ending June 30th, 2019. Taking into consideration its sales from the medical, adult use, and wholesale markets, WeedMD increased its net revenues quarter over quarter by more than 140% to $8 million. The interim financial results for the 3 and 6 month period ending June 30th, 2019 will be released on August 29th, 2019. James E. Wagner Cultivation is raising its production capacity forecast at its flagship facility, JWC2. The corporation now projects JWC2 has the potential to produce 35,000 kilograms of cannabis flower per year versus the corporation's previous public guidance of 30,000 kilograms per annum, once the facility is built to full capacity. The increase in production forecast is primarily the result of an increased yield achieved mainly through the implementation of advanced cultivation processes, including the growth storm dual droplet system, and assumes that the increased yield realized in the quarter ending June 30th, 2019 will be sustainable by the corporation. And that's your news for today. For more weed stock news, visit Cannabis Daily on MidasLetter.com.
So, Ed, you going to try the XES Sensual vaginal applicator? What? How's your sexual wellness? Are you sexually well? It's vaginal. That's vaginal.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I like to pronounce it vaginal.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound so, I don't know. Well,
I feel a little mum on the issue.
Are you a little bit, are you a little bit of a prude when it comes to matters sexual? Does it make you, can we make you blush? Does it make you blush, Edward?
You know, the truth be known, I see people kissing on television, I have to leave the room.
No.
I do.
Really?
On TV.
Why?
I don't know, especially when I'm by myself.
Really?
I look around and think, I'm getting out of here. I'm serious.
No kidding. So what about full-on sex scenes?
Like, gee, well, that's different.
That's different? Then you're like,
I get my hand.
So you might want to try some of this XES Sensual vaginal lube.
On who?
Well, what's wrong with you? You know, you
Well,
got
I can tell you,
you got a close facsimile.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit, something new for you.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, cannabis markets broadly down here today. We're looking at the large cap index. Everything is red today. The large cap is down 1.42% to 88.79. The small cap index of the Midas Letter composites is down 1.69. The Midas Letter Venture Index is down 1.43, and the Midas Letter CSE Index is off 2.72%. So, question, Ed, is the cannabis market falling apart? Is this the last accelerated swan dive into the trough that will mark the end of the summer doldrums just before a sector-wide catalyst swoops in and takes the whole market to new highs?
Good question. I think there's going to be some real winners in the space, but technically it looks like there's some that aren't going to pull out of this.
Okay.
Okay, that's how it looks.
Which ones?
Well, like for instance, the ones like these, we talked about the extractors last week. They all look like they're
the extractors, like Halo, our client.
Well, Halo. By the way, the candle yesterday was I thought, even though it was a red candle, had a pretty nice tail on it and a wick.
Yeah.
Sort of an indecisive action. And today, there is some big selling, but it came right back, and it's at the highs of the day.
Well, interestingly enough, at about 3:30 yesterday, a BMO order sold 600,000 shares took it to stock down from 43 to 39 cents, and this morning it's back up to 43 cents.
I know.
Again.
This kind of action, from where it's dropped from, I can see the thing clawing back at least half the position, just technically, forgetting about the fundamentals that continue to improve.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the large caps and see which one of these is actually driving the downward momentum. There's only one of the large caps is up presently. That is Kronos Group is up 55 cents or almost 3% to $18.93, but that's quite a low from where it's been recently, although everything's been off. Leading the charge to the downside is actually Afria, lost 4.94% or 47 cents, trading at 904. This, as I'm sure institutional buyers who rushed in sort of suddenly did a, wait a second, what's this word adjusted all over these financial statements? And holy smokes, did the share price force a convert in the debenture, which is actually where that profit came from, that so-called profit? I think that's probably going to take Afria back to where it came from before that release, although the revenues were indisputably very good. And interestingly, Aurora also giving it up today. Aurora came out with guidance that suggested they were going to look to report income in the next quarter or last quarter of 109 million, was it?
But the revenue.
Revenue, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
And you can say income is revenue, but you get into the technical. Usually, when you talk about income, you talk about net. You talk about Anyway, there's a lot of different things, but it confuses me because I've been
elderly.
Yeah. Yeah, I need some of that XS, whatever it's called.
Oh, and XES. Yeah, rub it on your head.
Which
if it's
one?
CBD in nature, chances are that by rubbing it on your head, you will have the same effect as if you rubbed it on your vagina. Do you think you should try that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see what else. So Aurora's given up 2.97% today. Is this the market not believing in the guidance given by Aurora? Is this the market discounting the guidance given by Aurora, thinking that, well, great, nice...
What chart did you just have on what index? Which one was that? Because I just looked at it here and I thought, yeah, that one. Is that the big one?
That's the Midas Letter Canadian Cannabis Index, which is all of the companies trading over $500 million.
Yeah, so that you see there's a channel, a distinct channel over the last few months. There. Well, it's
okay,
a little
so
bit
how many
longer.
months? Back to April?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Let's take a look at that.
Look at that. See, there's a distinct channel. When that channel breaks either way, either it's going to accelerate to the downside more, or maybe we're going to get a relief rally. I suspect it's looking like it's trying to give us a bit of a relief rally. When you have a little indigestion, you want a little relief.
Uh-oh. This channel here?
Yeah.
Where's that going? Let's see. Do I take this down here? No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that, eh?
Yeah, you're really getting good at this.
But this channel down here,
Jesus,
right?
yeah. Is
that the one?
Yeah, well, look, it's a pretty defined channel, and it looks like it may be deviating slightly to the upside. So that's what, you want to see a trend change before you change your approach.
Right. Okay. So let's see here. If we
notice Chiron had a pretty good day today.
Chiron.
See that?
Yeah. Well, Chiron's not on the large cap list, but if we go back here to, let's see, Chiron's on our small cap list. Oh, geez, now how do I get rid of this? Quit screen bash, Command Q. I see. Okay, small cap, Chiron. Let's see, where's Chiron in the mix here on the small cap index? Look at it. Here's all the small caps. So leading the small cap index, despite all of the red in the small cap index generally, there are some bright spots, and they are M. Jardine Group is up 11 cents or 8.8%. That's a nice move. Chiron adding 8.25%, second best performer in the small cap index. Obviously, all of the selling that took it down to $2 is having a second thought. And look at a lot of these names are some of our favorite names. Weed MD up 2.5%, 48 North up 2.5%. So what we're seeing is a reversal in some of the quality names here. And that is important because the quality always leads the detritus, just as, flotsam
Right.
and jetsam follows the wake of the engine. There's my little analogy.
Yeah,
for today.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, thanks. And then in the venture index, let's see. Organogram is leading the charge. No, it's not Organogram. Nutrisci, down to 7 cents. Boy,
Whoa, surprise.
there's Medcoal Canna Organics, a 15 center. Lifton Co. down to 27 cents, down another 5.26%. Namaste Technologies down 4% to 48 cents. Naturally Splendid, don't know what they're doing there. They don't.
I don't recall
do
seeing
cannabis.
Namaste with a four handle for quite a while. Am I mistaken, or is that usually it's over 50 cents is somewhere, isn't it?
Well, it's been, let's take a look at the Namaste chart. I mean, since they parted company with Sean Dollinger, the stock has, look at that. There's what looks like a dying stock. Now, we haven't really heard too much from the new management team or seen too much in the way of moves, and certainly the volume has dried right up, but I think that, they're not really having they're not really spending anything in terms of telling the story, and so they're kind of gone radio silence. Now, I'm assuming that's because they're sort of tidying things up as they reorganize management. So we'll reserve judgment on that one for now, but it does have 321 million shares out, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of financial reporting we get from them in the next go round. Let's see, let's take a look at the CSE index now. These are listed here in order of market cap. So Curaleaf is the largest CSE issuer on our index, and it's down 2.99% today, obviously leading the charge to the downside on the Midas Letter CSE Cannabis Index, down 2.7 cents, closely followed by Harvest Health and Recreation, down 1.68, Trulieve 2.94, and Green Thumb 3.56 down. This is interesting because these are the quality companies on the CSE, arguably, at least by indication of large market caps. They're all down in the United States, while a lot of companies are up of the quality names on the small caps. So this is kind of like, I hate to use the cliched and hackneyed term bifurcation, but here we have a bifurcation among U.S. and Canadian stocks that is perhaps setting up for an interesting pattern. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had a press release from Halo Labs that they have launched their XES Sensual sexual wellness products that features both an applicator and serum and applies cannabinoid science to promote sexual pleasure. Now, what do you make of that, Edward?
Wow.
Yeah, what kind of cannabis science promotes sexual pleasure? Well, we don't really know, but fortunately, we went down to Oregon to visit with Halo CEO Kiran Sidhu, and here's a little snippet to enlighten you about your new vaginal applicator.
I'm Kiran Sidhu. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Halo Labs. Today, we've just announced a partnership with Prime Agri for their XES product line, which is a whole line of CBD and soon-to-be THC-based wellness products. The first product that they manufacture in Italy in a CGMP pharmaceutical facility is a vaginal serum, and we're really happy to start distributing it both through our dispensary channels as well as conventional channels.
We are working with Halo for the distribution of our sexual wellness line. We are trying with our line to put together the pleasure with the wellness, with the beauty, and is our main objective. We are distributing now our first product. Is a vaginal stimulating serum. Is based on a particular balance of cannabinoid. So in our product there is a CBD, CBG, CBN.
The X Wellness brand is a product within the Prime Hemp Science and Industry division. We just, we're traditionally an science-based, engineering-based businesses, which we've now taken the technology, our understanding of medical systems, merchandising, consumer marketing, together with our agricultural supply chain and industrial supply chain management, and bringing that into the whole cannabis space.
We have a partnership with Halo for the distribution in US because the Prime Group and the division is based in Europe, in Italy. And for US, we decided to work with them for the distribution, in particular in California, in Nevada, and in Oregon. And so we are developing this market with Halo. Is complained also with the FDA in US.
We have no equity investment in Halo. They have no equity investment in us. We are right now, the relationship legally would be basically we're a supplier and they're a client. So having said that, the relationship is more than just a transactional based. We are investing management bandwidth, we're investing time and energy into developing their non-traditional THC channels like a lot of CBD shops or health stores, other places where CBD products are sold. So the short answer to your question is that they buy at a price, a wholesale price, wholesale level, and then they resell to retailers. They also are working together with them for an e-commerce channel.
We decided to work with Halo because it make us safe. Like we want to be safe in our product. We want to have a partnership with a company that keeps certain standards, because we don't want just work with somebody that sell our product. We're trying to develop, and we are doing an international distribution of our product. And we think that Halo can be the right subject to do this in US.
X, it's spelled XES, sex backwards. Well, the biggest market there is really women. So if you start then to look at the market, you say, well, what is the market? Our target market is women for the stimulating vaginal serum, women between the ages of 25 to 64. And we have basically profiled the ages of women between 25 to 64 in every state, in every target country that we have. And you look at certain populations or certain regions where we feel can be a good target market for us in terms of the socioeconomic capabilities, distribution, and all that. Then for the anal product is the second product in our lineup. We have others as well. Laura has designed a product which is called After X. It is for both men and women. It's a cross-gender product. It can be used both in the vaginal area or in the anal area, and it's for recovery. It's like if you have a heavy sunburn, you have after sun. So this is After X, we call it. And then for next year, we have a separate product line specifically for the gay, bi, male. And that market, then if you start to look at demographics, there are, I believe, more than 12 million LGBT in just the US alone. So when you go back to market size for Halo, basically it's the same target population of potential users and buyers.
And we really believe in this product and in all the line. And I want to repeat that it's going to be a omni-gender line, because I think that in US we can market different product that is a country where the mind should be very open to introduce also product for gay, for lesbian. We won't really be open and try to give to everybody a safe product.
The initial focus with Halo is to leverage off of their low-hanging fruit and their existing infrastructure, distribution infrastructure, logistics and operational infrastructure. That means that we start with Halo in the states and the regions where they are, which is this area where we are today, in the Palm Springs Inland Empire, Los Angeles, California, Nevada, Las Vegas, and then the whole Medford, Portland corridor, and the whole Oregon markets. Their initial channels right now are clearly dispensaries. They're a THC company, they're a cannabis company. The opportunity for Halo is very simple. We're opening up new channels for them that typically they haven't really looked at or they haven't been active in because they've been busy marketing THC products, okay? So to market and sell and distribute THC products, there is a great deal of regulatory and licensing. There's a web of regulatory and licensing issues. And so now with a product like ours, they see that it's an opportunity to move into non-traditional THC channels with a very innovative product. Kieran, when he first saw it, he was introduced to him, he called me and said, I love it because it's not a Me Too. So many products in this marketplace are becoming Me Too products. And whereas what we've done is we've innovated by taking, it's not just a CBD oil, it's a very technically, rigorously formulated formulation, which the process is also proprietary, in which we've then added to a delivery system. The delivery system is something that comes out of our whole medical background. So we said, if people are going to use this in that way, rather than just take a bottle, a dropper, put it on your hand and apply it somewhere, why don't we offer it in a proper delivery mechanism? So that's part of the ethos, is we take a fantastic formulation, we package it in a proper delivery mechanism. Also, the X-Groove, which is the anal soothing serum, comes in a separate delivery system. So you have formulation, you have delivery system, and you wrap it around with what we call compliance and third-party verification, consumer safety testing, material safety data sheets, the whole social compliance. So we have a whole supply chain transparency and compliance approach, which comes out of our industrial work and out of our agriculture and food side.
We launched our product in April. We would launch in last December, but we decided to wait because we was waiting for one test, a stability test, because we tested everything, the bottle, the material. We designed everything to be really compliant with the safety and the security of the consumer. And so we launched in April, and in probably in couple of months we are distributing in different countries around the world, and we are having a good success. And I cannot talk about numbers because it's not a precise number, but I can tell you that we sold all the stock that we produce. So absolutely all the stock. And we are also now going, because we want that our product is everybody know our product, going with a strong social media campaign, because it's a good way to show to the people and to help to the people to know the product and the line.
And what we found internationally, particularly in the tourist areas like in Croatia, in the beach areas in Bulgaria, in the coastal areas of Spain, in some cities in Italy, is that it becomes a novelty item which is bought by tourists in holiday areas. So it's also a gift, becomes also a gift item. So the market is not just a user, it's also a buyer. And a buyer can be someone who's not using it directly, but they could be buying it for someone else. It's fun. Let's not forget, sex should be fun. It should be pleasurable.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing to our YouTube channel and clicking on the little notifications bell. If you're interested in getting monthly actionable investment ideas in the cannabis space to your inbox, subscribe to the newsletter at MidasLetter.com. Never mind that. Subscribe to the newsletter and get a free sample of either Groove or the XES.
Maybe we can get Great Northern Brands to kick in some bear spray.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about
I know.
Halo and their, well, they've got a product for men and a product for women.
And then also for the full gamut of
Everything in between.
preference,
Preference.
orientation, shall we say.
Attractiveness to animals.
Controlled rooms having too much fun. Cut their salary in half.
I loved how Ken Shine made quite the, made very big hay out of the idea that the science that went into the applicators, the customer experience testing that went into the applicators, guarantee that this is not some just imagined idea. This has been tested. And I'll tell you what, Edward, I want to go to that testing facility and watch. See, the one thing that I noticed is they don't have an auto erotica version for. So.
Sure.
Anyways,
sure.
we've got to be careful with these. We could rip on sexual wellness products
Who's
all
gonna,
day long.
Hey, no one's going to care about making money in the stock market when we got this to work
Well,
with.
exactly. There's things you can do while you're watching this.
Yeah.
Donnie Greco says he can see Ed rubbing himself up with the cream. Actually, Donnie, you wouldn't believe it, but while that segment was playing, Ed was doing exactly that. He just came back. He just needed to go hose himself off. Boy, oh boy. We digress.
Yeah.
Chiron also had a major reversal today, and let's see. I'm going to try to pull up a chart of Chiron here, even though I've got way too many windows open here for what I'm doing. And let's see, small cap Chiron. There it is. Let's pull up the chart. Here it comes. Survey says, ding, 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 ding. Look at that. Okay, so here's the last few sessions. Look at Chiron has definitely got a solid reversal in place, starting to flirt with the last resistance, which is up here at 225. Wouldn't you say, Edward?
Well, let me take a look here. I got my own little chart here. Yeah.
You got your own little world going on over there.
You got a 3-month? Yeah, definitely. Well, we really would like to get through this previous. Let's put up the chart here. Okay, here we go. What was that?
Don't know.
Here we go. Survey says, okay. So we had a little
Now,
high.
wait a sec here. What chart is that?
Chiron.
How is that Chiron? That doesn't look at all like...
What time frame?
Well, I'm looking at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sessions.
And I'm looking at the last 60 sessions.
Okay.
So
you're looking in 1 week increments.
You're looking this. You're looking at this.
Ed's...
No,
what?
I got a 3-month up. A 3-month up.
Okay, yeah. January, July. No, you're 1 year.
No, it's 3 months.
No, look, it says January up there.
What? This is July, May, June, July.
Really? Let me see this.
Okay, I'll
sucker.
make a bet.
Oh, it says May. Why does it say January up there? That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. And weird.
James is on the 1 year? James is on the...
Anyway, I'm going to carry on here. You know, it's obviously...
What the hell's going on?
Look at that.
Nobody knows what's happening. Who's on
big
first? What's on
reversal
second?
occurred here back in early July. We had a run now. We got to get through here. We get through here.
Yeah.
And then
I see what's
money
going
will
on,
flow.
Ed. You're on 1 week increments.
No, I'm not. I'm on what? There's 3 months there. Each one of these lines represents 1 day. Thank you very much.
Okay, so why is it that
Okay,
you have a completely different performance than I do?
Okay, because this is what. See that line I just drew there? That's
Okay.
where you are.
Would you agree that...
See that? Okay. Look. See this? That's where you are. This for
August 7th.
right there. From that point on,
Today is August 7th.
you got 1, 2, 3,
Would you
4,
agree
5,
that-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Would
Count
you
'em.
agree that...
13. There's 13 there.
Would you agree that right now, Chiron is at 220 and it is up 14 cents today?
As a matter of fact, I'm not going to agree. Yes, I would agree.
Okay, so would you say that this candle is a perfect graphic reflection of that statistic and representative of today?
Well, the low is 209. The high
Yeah.
was 229.
Yes.
And now it's 220.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd
So
like
that's
to.
what that candle says. Wait, I want to get this straight because your charts are screwed up.
No, my charts aren't screwed up.
No, they are, because you just told me that this is actually accurate and yours shows the opposite.
No, that's it right there.
What? What do you mean I have to hit reset zoom?
Okay.
No, if I hit reset
Yeah,
zoom, I go out to the
I got
1
the
year.
same thing.
So this is the section I'm looking at. Anyways, we could talk about that. We'll probably do that afterwards once the show is over. But yeah, clearly some discrepancies here that we've got to sort out with our charting mechanisms. Gold and silver is trending downward, says Compound Interest Stock Guy. FYI, I just sold my FVI calls. What is FVI?
Don't know.
Huh. Somebody's promoting their Somebody's talking their book on our chat room on YouTube.
FBI. Yeah, well, there may be a possibility that gold is rolling over here short term. It's had a hell of a run. I've noticed it. In fact, yeah.
All right, let's ask the audience on YouTube, who here is investing in gold or silver? Let's see what the audience comes
Silver's
back
up
with.
about almost 4.5% today. That's a monster move.
Well, that's because as in every gold bull move that we've seen over the last 10 years, every time gold takes off, the higher it goes, the closer the gap goes on the gold-silver ratio, right?
And it's been way out of whack.
Yeah.
And now it's
So technically,
today's a
silver is
catch-up.
the better buy than gold.
Absolutely.
Huh. I'm going to go buy some silver coins right after this.
How many?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe, let's see. How much, what's the price per ounce? 17.14 per ounce. So let's see, if I bought 10, 17.
10 ounces?
Yeah,
Really?
why not? 170.40. If I bought 100 ounces, it'd be $1,714.
It's over 17 bucks today for the first time in a while. In fact,
Yeah.
there
There we go. Let's go buy some. Okay, so Compound Interest Stock Guy says he is buying gold. Reefer Aljoint says he's buying palladium. Oh, wait, no. Nika Domi says she hasn't yet, but is watching. Donnie Greco says laugh out loud. Rolling over, up 27. Yeah, so Fortuna Silver. That's what FVI is. Holy shit, Fortuna Silver. There is a name from the past. Wow, Fortuna Silver.
Oh my God.
That's a Vancouver deal with Mario Schottlander's on the board. My old buddy Mario, and who else is in that company
What is it?
again?
FBI?
FVI, yeah.
Frank?
It's actually a great story, great deal. Colombian silver producer, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be Peruvian and Colombian. I can't remember. We'll have a look at it before we just talk more of which we know nothing. But yeah, so here's the thing, people. Like, even though cannabis might have been your be-all and end-all, it's starting to look like this market could be moving towards a precious metals market. And the reason I say that is, A, because obviously crypto's broken down, cannabis is breaking down, interest rates have broken down all the way. They can't print much more money, and that's why they've got satellite sort of countries lowering interest rates, because they can't lower them any further without going into negative territory. Once the rate of interest at all developed nations is negative, that means the value of everything is infinity, and you should just buy the S&P 500, as Ravi Sood said earlier in our conversation. So the mathematics governing the global monetary system have become woefully and terminally, I would say, broken. And this means that mathematics, nature, and physics are about to assert their laws on this great ball of resources we call planet Earth.
This great ball of bullshit.
Well, actually, the ball is not bullshit.
No,
it's
the
the
ball's
people on
bullshit,
it and
yeah,
what's in
yeah.
their heads. The rest of the world is
You
very
mentioned
real.
FVI. I just did a chart. You could have bought it at the low a month and a half ago at $3.20. It hit $6 today. So
Okay.
there's things moving in this world.
So Fortuna would be classified as a mid-tier silver producer, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So this is the thing. Here's the standard pattern. Whenever there's a major gold and commodities bull market by
Yeah,
extension,
yeah.
because that's a later phase, the standard procedure is gold takes off, then the majors take off, and you look at all the major gold producers, they've all had a big move up to as much as 30% higher. Then the mid-tiers come in, and we're seeing that right now with
Yeah.
Fortuna, and then the juniors. So I just want to point out that by way of disclosure, I am buying Galane Gold, who is our client. I am buying physical gold. And so I need to disclose that, because otherwise it sounds like I'm talking my book and I'm not to be trusted, which I'm not anyways, because we are talking our book, because we're always involved in the industry. We're always buying and selling stocks, and we never know. Even we don't know what we own on some days. So just consider everything we say in the context of an advertisement. Would you say that's fair, Edward? This is a 1 hour long ad. Mind you, it's unscripted, and we never know what we're going to say next.
Right.
And we never know when something like the vaginal applicator is going to make an appearance on our show and take the whole conversation sideways. So that's why you watch, I'm assuming, and that's why we show up every day.
You watch.
You watch.
You never know.
We'll blabble. We'll babble like fools. Okay, now I had this conversation with Ravi Sood. Ravi Sood is your above average gold bug because Ravi has a gold company that is producing gold. It's Galane Gold, who's our client, and Ravi knows a thing or two about global economics because he's a smart guy who's worked in the industry for many years, and he's done a lot of things. And I could have talked to him for hours, but I only talked to him for about 10 minutes, and here's that conversation we just had a short while ago before the show started.
Galane Gold is an unhedged gold producer and explorer with mining operations and exploration tenements in Botswana and South Africa. Galane Gold's management team is comprised of senior mining professionals with extensive experience in managing mining, processing operations, and large-scale exploration programs. Galane Gold is committed to operating at world-class standards and is focused on the safety of its employees, respecting their environment, and contributing to the communities in which it operates. Galane Gold trades on the TSX Venture under the ticker GG.
Ravi Sood joins me now. Ravi, welcome back.
Pleasure to be here, James.
Ravi, the big news of the day, gold at this moment is trading at 1505 USD. Clearly, it's on a bit of a tear, up almost 16% in the last month, highest level in 7 years. What are the fundamentals globally driving the price of gold currently?
Well, I don't think the fundamentals have changed much, the drivers for gold. What's changed is the narrative that is behind those fundamentals has started to catch a bit of a tailwind, and people have started to accept it in the mainstream. And so going back to what are those fundamentals? One, you've got central banks printing money relentlessly. That hasn't changed. That's been true for a long time. You've got zero or near zero rates, and now probably the single biggest catalyst is the fact that we've gone from this rate hike cycle to a rate cut cycle, and we're looking at now probably easing, other forms of quantitative easing being put back in place. And so that narrative is, all those fundamentals have been true for many years, but that narrative is now catching wind with the mainstream, and that's now being reflected in gold price.
Sure. So does the interest rate situation and the quantitative easing situation, is that whole sort of convergence aggravated intensely more so than normally it would be by the brewing trade war between the United States and China?
Of course it is, and when you think about why was gold sidelined for these last many years, and it's been sidelined drastically, and it's been sidelined less drastically over different periods of time, it's because the US dollar has emerged as the de facto reserve currency of the world. And if you have a United States, which is suddenly gone into a posture, maybe not so suddenly, of increasingly alienating its trade partners, the willingness to look the other way on the ballooning deficits and the just completely improbable and mathematically implausible federal debt in the United States, underpinning that US dollar, your supposed reserve currency, your risk-free currency, the willingness to look the other way just goes down, and it goes down really fast. The other fact is you have China as your most critical trading partner, and that's the person you're alienating the most right now. So there's no question that's part of it.
Mm-hmm. And China owns, what is it, 30% of all U.S. Government debt?
Of course, and the fact that you have the Chinese owning that huge part of the debt and being a complete, a critical player in that market, and Chinese citizens and savers looking also at their holdings and their savings in renminbi and saying, what am I going to do with this? At the margin, in a gold market that's been starved, that's been in a bear market, yeah, it's had a few leaps and recoveries over the years, but it's been painful for years and years and years. At the margin, you start to introduce those new buyers back into the system, and boom, the bull is burst through the gate, and even the gold bulls amongst us have been shocked at this price action, how fast and how dramatically it's moved.
You bet. Carmen Reinhart, a rather famous PhD economist, penned a essay called Financial Repression that basically outlined how governments use this tactic of bringing interest rates to nothing to essentially take their debt and foist it onto the shoulders of the savers in society. So I'm looking at all of these factors, and I'm looking at the very finite gold market. And in the past, it's been the futures market that has allowed a much higher dollar value participation in what is not really the gold market, but is a paper version thereof.
The paper gold market, yes.
Right, and so I'm curious as to your opinion as to why now has that futures market sort of dampening effect lost its ability to dampen the effect?
That's a great question. I think a critical one that we need to be asking ourselves continuously through this process. And I think if you look at the facts, and remember I said these facts have been there a year ago, 2 years ago, 2 months ago, and we didn't have the reaction in gold price. So what really has changed? Yeah, you had the change in the stance of the Fed. The reality is you have a US government that, to put it in real terms, had $8 trillion or so of debt when Obama became president, now has $22 trillion in debt. Most economists will tell you 60% debt to GDP is kind of a red zone. You're starting to get into trouble territory. 90% is a point of no return. You're around 110% in the US now. There is no conceivable way for them to get back on side. The US government, historians will tell you, they've had a great history of inflating the debt and then contracting it. There have been periods in time, World War II, for example, the debt's blown up, and then there's been a huge peace dividend. So they've gone back to economic boom, there's been all sorts of rationalizations, productivity increases, and they've done a great job of it, and that's been the great history of the United States. But this time, we had the feed the beasts kind of a government policy of the Republican era, George W. Bush, and the debt exploded. You had wars in Iraq, you had wars in Afghanistan. And then you had a government that came into the global financial crisis, had no choice but to feed the beast even more. You had no peace dividend, you had no contraction of that debt, and it just snowballed out of control. Add to that the Social Security system. I was talking to someone earlier today, I mentioned it ran a $9 trillion mark-to-market deficit for the past year. It's now a $43 trillion deficit in the U.S. Social Security system.
$9 trillion just in 1 year.
In 1 year, and these numbers you can't wrap your head around. But again, you talk about the 22 trillion being over 100% debt to GDP. Mm-hmm. 43 trillion is 200% of your GDP. So you're already talking 300%. And those are real obligations. It's not some exotic derivative, something. That's somebody who's expecting those payments.
Watching the mailbox, waiting for it.
You know, if you grew up in Venezuela, maybe you did not expect to get your pension.
Right.
You had years and generations of being completely screwed over.
Right.
But nobody in the United States saying, oh, I'm not, I have to factor in the fact that I'm not going to get it. Well, the reality is those numbers just don't add up. 300% debt to GDP, there's going to be a monetization of so-called debt jubilee. This money is somehow needs to be grossly devalued in real terms.
If it was a public company, it would be rolled back 10 for 1.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. You need to increase the denominator. So
right.
You need to keep printing money. You need to monetize this, and you need some really clever mechanism to do it, because the traditional ones haven't been working.
Right.
We haven't been able to find inflation. Central bankers have pulled some levers and pushed some buttons, and it hasn't worked. So your question is a very interesting one, because I wonder, has something changed now that the mechanism that has perhaps suppressed gold price for so many years has now decided maybe we need gold price to be higher? Mm-hmm. And the speed at which gold price has moved in this run-up, okay, there's lots of positive technical factors at play and flow of funds, as I mentioned earlier, but maybe there's something else afoot here too. And I think we're not going to answer that question today, but that's a great question to keep asking ourselves as this bull market plays out. Mm-hmm. Is there something else happening here that we don't know about that's going to be an important part of that ultimate monetization or debt jubilee?
You bet. All right, Ravi, that's a great conversation. We're going to continue that as gold continues to embarrass the U.S. dollar incrementally.
I hope so.
I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks for joining me.
See you soon, James.
If you like the show, you'll love our website. Visit us at www.midasletter.com for interviews with key CEOs, cannabis news, and to subscribe to our newsletter.
Explain it to
1 day intervals, that's our issue.
But
1 day
see,
no.
This,
Anyways,
this
we're
is
back
higher.
and...
What? You know what, I was just about to take out a knife and stab you.
Chiron has had
Or
2
scratch your eyes
updates and
out
1
with my
down day in the
fingernails.
last 3. And it's a function of the setting of candles and the interval. So we're going to fix that. We won't be so confusing going forward, I promise. I want to go back and look now at the indexes, because as we move towards the close of the day, Okay, where's losing my rhythm, losing my religion. Okay, so end of day now. The downward momentum has accelerated in the CSE while it has eased up in the other indexes. So, but still, a red day across the cannabis universe. Ta-da! Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Let's take a look at the CSE index and see who's the stars and who's the dogs, as they say on in various. Okay, so look at there's Eviana Health up 38% or 11 cents on the day. Interesting to look at their press releases and figure out what happened. 360 Risk Solutions, we had the CEO on not so long ago, up 22.86%, breaking a pretty constant downward trend. Dixie Brands added 20% today, up 12 cents to 70 cents, as probably a result of their partnership with Chiron, where Dixie is going to be selling products for Chiron in the United States of America.
Dixie Brands is a big outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they?
It's not a startup.
No.
They were around before.
Do they sell Dixie cups, I wonder?
Is that the Dixie Brands?
I don't.
Whistling Dixie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you go to there and you buy a whistle and Dixie.
And Dixie. What is with Dixie? Where's that from? Is Dixie not a colloquialism for the southern United States? Way down in Dixie?
I wish I was in Dixie, but she's in Tennessee.
Tennessee was in Dixie.
Well, that.
Okay, let's tell you what.
I wish I was in Dixie.
We've gone so sideways today.
Away, I wish I was in Dixieland.
Ignite Brands. Dan Bilzerian's deal was up at over $3 yesterday.
$3.
And today it's down below $2 at $1.95, heading back to where it came from. Obviously, more sellers than buyers. People are asking why. More sellers than buyers.
Look, it's 201, 204 now. Hit 190. This is a tradable stock here. Now, it should have a little pop, but you don't like to see a stock come down like $1 in a day, eh?
No way.
No way.
Forefront Ventures. This is the company here. Let's pull up a chart of Forefront. Forefront is the resulting issuer after a merger with CanX Capital. CNNX was the symbol. So if you're wondering why your CNNX symbol has disappeared, it has become FFNT.
And that's the gentleman. And is it Andrew? Andrew Dutton?
Andrew Dutton was the CEO. Oh, yeah. Now the CEO is Josh Rosen, who was the head of Forefront Ventures. So there are great expectations for this company because these guys have been in the cannabis space in a couple of different iterations. They've got a lot of success behind them. So if anybody's going to turn this company into a big winner, I think it's going to be Josh Rosen and his team. 120 million shares outstanding.
What's the ticker?
FFNT. Frank, Niagara, Tennessee.
And what exchange?
The CSE.
Let's take a look. Let's take a peek.
There you go.
Forefront Ventures, 97 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the 1 month, no good. 6 month. Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that candle. Wow. That should be a bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. See that? You see the big wick? Yeah. And the little tail? Yeah. Or the big tail. That's a classic indecisive candle. You see you know what I mean? Like it's sort of symmetrical.
Yeah.
You know, with a nice wick, nice tail.
Yes.
Short body. That's indecision. After a big downward move, indecision usually suggests the beginning of a bottom. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Huh. No kidding. See? Wow. So interesting. The last press release by Forefront was yesterday. Forefront debuts on CSE and agrees to settle long-standing advisory contract. Interestingly, Forefront, which began in 2011 as an advisory firm, before evolving into the operations-focused multi-state cannabis company, has several historical advisory agreements in place. As an advisor, Forefront ultimately helped obtain more than 60 cannabis operation licenses across 10 states. So this is this is one of the factors in the Forefront transaction that piques my interest. If they help 60 cannabis licenses get got across 10 states, then are they going to be getting licenses for Forefront now across all those states instead of being an advisor to other companies?
So let me, well, maybe you were going to answer the question. I thought maybe I'd throw in and anticipate your answer, but you've already said the question, so probably not much.
And on that note, don't forget to hit the little bell in the upper right-hand corner.
Ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Nika Domi's here tomorrow.
So long.